Huh. Can't find my notes here. The notes on Ryan Heuser's episode here. I can't find them. Thought I had them on the next page.
You called him Ryan Heuser at one point.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Heuser.
You're right. Yeah, the Moscow Mules you threw at me. Oh, here it is. A few pages ago. Oh, there was blank space. I was trying to use up all the paper here.
You're quite the conservationist, D-Rock.
Trying to save paper?
Yeah, well,
I guess I am quite the hippie. The hippie of the organic kind, but gotta use what you harvest?
Yeah. You harvest trees?
Oh, you're recording?
Yeah.
You bastard.
shit.
I didn't know you were
you
recording.
didn't even tell us.
I figured give a little entertainment to the people.
The fact that you're not slurring your words.
Oops, Trev's bloopers.
Not yet.
Oh, shit.
Stay
That's
tuned
me.
for Trev's bloopers.
Oh, man. So, well, since you're recording, I mean, this is actually a really cool episode. We get behind the scenes for Respect the Game. Larry McCoy, he definitely gets great compliments and, Shabine burp. But he gets, Larry McCoy gets a lot of compliments from Ryan Heuser and also P. Vitty. I mean, the whole
How would
crew.
you say that in Spanish?
Which one, Heuser?
Which one? Heuser?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Actually, in
probably
Spanish,
just
it's
Heuser.
Heuser.
Okay.
Heuser.
All right. Thank you.
You rolled that R. I like how you rolled that R. Very faint
Well,
at the end.
yeah, it's a soft D.
Soft D. Is soft D good, though?
Not in your case. Not in your case. That's what fluffers are for, right, Ryan? But anyways, back to it. Ryan, he's really solidifying his balance. He tells us how he grew into a bow hunter and how he became part of the crew for Respect the Game. And man, does he have great respect for his crew members and team members, rather, and how he really brings a different light and eye to the lens. And this is going to be really cool because we're all over the place in the sense of what many hunters kind of face day to day, whether it be the balance of home, keeping mama hen at home happy so he could go do his things sometimes months at a time or a month at a time on the road, and definitely becoming a new daddy. There's a lot of new daddies this year that can find some relation to this and really develop a game plan on how to attack. So what do you take away from this episode, Ryan?
D-Rock, I mean, it's just such a cool, low-key episode. I mean, it's just packed full of information, but we keep it cool, we keep it calm. And like you said, Ryan just gives all these props to everyone. P. Vitty, Lorenzo. You hear some behind-the-scenes stuff that just makes you realize, you know what, maybe I'm a first-year hunter, but I do go to deer camp. And it's just like these guys do. We're out there having fun. We're having a good time. We're bullshitting. We're having a few drinks. We talk about the deer we saw or maybe pretend to see and shot at, whatever it may be. It's just down-to-earth guys, man. If you're feeling intimidated out there being a new hunter, listen to this episode because these guys are no different than you and I, any of us in this room, any of you listening. We're all just down-to-earth people going out there for the same reasons.
And his ninja tip was insane.
His ninja tip was killer, man.
We won't say what it is.
No, you got to listen.
You got to tune in to the end for that one.
Ninja tip was killer, man. Write it down. Get your notes ready. It's just a low-key episode. Listen in.
Trev, what you got? What do you take away from this episode?
No, just the positivity that Ryan brings to the table, just the tradition and, him hunting with his brothers and so on and so forth. And also
giving props to his little brother, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
The buck whisperer. But,
deer whisperer.
Deer whisperer.
But, no, and just that of just go out there and have a good time, and that kind of just shedded a lot of light as to show who Ryan actually is, that he's out there to have a good time. And just, just for the love of the game, for sure.
It's dope. What I take away, he just kicks back, listens to us hooligans, ask him a bunch of stupid questions, drinking TX whiskey, and just having fun. And that's the theme of this episode. So let's get to it.
Why East Coast Bowhunting Podcast?
Because neither one of us wear pink camo.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look, man, I'm from Wisconsin, and I listen to East Coast Bowhunters because you don't get anything more real than these guys.
Because East Coast Bowhunting sets the standards for keeping its listeners informed on everything that matters in the hunting industry.
nice having somebody, local and represent the East Coast boys.
The East Coast is going to saddle up.
Number one source for slaying whitetails on the East Coast.
Well, you might see Jesus if you actually do something, it'll get you into heaven.
Why East Coast? Why not? I'm East Coast, baby. That's how we roll. Chew on that.
Come on the show, a stranger, and you feel like one of the boys when you leave.
Because I get my hunting camp anytime I want.
There's some absolute monsters roaming the East Coast, and I think it needs a little attention, so why not bring it to the East Coast Bowhunters podcast?
Man, because East Coast is a tight-knit crew, and y'all like me. Raw, real, no bullshit.
Because you guys are hometown boys. I love you guys.
This is Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bowhunter, and East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is the only hunting podcast I'll tune into.
Welcome back to another episode of the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. I'm your boy D-Rock here with
East Coast Trev
and
Ryan the Porn Star.
Welcome back to Slayer Studio at Coventry, Connecticut, hiding in the mountains of God's heaven. And this is going to be an awesome episode as we're tallying around RTG, Respect the Game, and we're on to Ryan Heuser. I hope I said his name right. And this is one for the books, I could already tell, only because we don't hear from Ryan too much. He's like 17 feet tall, makes Philip look like a little leprechaun, and I mean, he's a fucking slayer. So what better way to exploit that by just getting him on the show, right, boys?
Hell yeah.
Can't wait.
So this episode's brought to you by Shebeen Brewing. Shebeen. What do you got to say about Shebeen?
This John beer you brought is freaking insane.
You like that shit, huh?
Dude, I can't get enough of this stuff, man. You can't. It's just when you think of beer, like when I break it down, I think of like watching Family Guy and The Simpsons and stuff. You see that cartoon beer with the nice foam and stuff on top?
It just says beer.
It just says beer. That's what I think John beer is. When I look at those, it's just beer, man. It's fucking awesome.
Fuck yeah. 100 Demons.
Fuck.
East Coast hardcore music, known worldwide.
I'd have to say that it'll make your ears bleed. It's the best of the best.
If that's what you're into, we have Band-Aids for your ear holes.
That's it.
Cotton balls.
Trev's Euros.
For all your Euro needs. Get your bone to Trev. Slip it into his DMs. He's going to clean your bone out.
No comment.
No, really, he does a good job.
I bet he does. Encore Targets.
Self-heal your targets and self-heal your pockets. The best 2D targets on the market.
They are pretty dope, man. What kind of targets do they have?
They have everything from apples to zombies to you name it.
They have dinosaurs too, don't they?
Dinosaurs. You got elk. You got pronghorn. You got sheep. You got fucking everything.
They got a white-tailed deer?
They got a white-tailed deer.
They got quite
does,
a few, actually.
Bucks, standing.
I'm a doe killer.
Eating,
Hell
feeding.
Yeah.
I got them all.
You know what? I'm going to buy Reinhardt targets so I can put my Encore target in front of it and take the antlers off because I just want to slay does all year.
You're a doe slayer?
Hey, let's drink to that. I'm down to drink to that.
Hey, I'm the pimp in the woods. I got to keep my does in check.
That's right.
Outright hunting products.
The Morph Pro, the last adult fidget thing you can have in the tree, as Jeff likes to say, man.
Erector set?
Erector set. You go out there, buy all your little screw-in hooks, which are legal around state land in most states, or you can get yourself a Morph Pro. It'll hang your bow or your gun, whether you're in a tree, you're in a swamp, wherever you're going to be. Get yourself a Morph Pro, man. You don't know until you get your hands on it, but check it out.
What's Ryan trying to say is many activities.
So many activities. So much room for activities.
Ethics Archery.
If you don't shoot ethics, fuck you.
We'll move on from that.
Suck, Bruce.
Oh, wait. Actually, our promo code.
East Coast 10.
Yeah. Tree Thrasher.
Make that image come to life for
Imitate
that buck.
the wild.
Hey, man, I was putting my own spin on it, all right?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, but for real, imitate the wild. Put an image in that buck's head. Let him know you're there, and he's going to come to you. Get yourself a tree thrasher.
Promo code what?
East Coast 15.
Ooh, I like that one. We're getting higher and higher.
1-5.
Death Wish Coffee.
I don't even know it.
Can I give you one? If you don't drink Death Wish, then fuck you.
No, we can't. We can't tell everyone fuck
but
off.
what is
you?
What's our slogan for him? What's our slogan?
Shabine, fuck you. 100 Demons, fuck you. Maybe we can. It'd be kind of funny.
It sounds fun.
But it's definitely crack in the cup. It's the best, man. One cup will keep you up all day.
World's strongest coffee, fueled by death. Check out the podcast, Deathcast, with the amazing Jeff as the host. Use our promo code what?
East Coast 15.
Oh, no, 10. I'm sorry.
10.
That's my bad. I'm giving hand signals. I'm just making them fuck up.
Dude.
He did it on purpose.
25.
Is that 2? Is that a 1?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
This show is powered by Scranton Motors and driven by Scranton Motors and powered by Scranton Power Sports.
Get on the road, get in the woods, get in the mud, get in the dirt, get on the asphalt, get everywhere with Scranton Motors and Scranton Power Sports.
You know what? They need to start selling jet skis.
That was a great idea.
I thought they maybe possibly do.
Yo, Trev, correct me if I'm wrong. Caddy Cowboys always wanted to take one down the local river here, right?
Yeah. He's a savage.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
love
down.
to film that for my John boat.
Yep.
No, well, we're all in it. We're all going to do the same. We're all going to have jet skis, and we're going to do it.
How about I just film you guys, and then I'll call the ambulance.
No problem.
Sounds
You're
like a
going to
plan.
need 2 of them.
The Hunter Site.
The only hunting journal that should be used on a daily basis. I can't wait to use it this season. I am setting aside all the other applications, and now I'm using only the Hunter Site.
Word. I'm going old school myself, breaking up the paper maps and using the Hunter Site.
Hell yeah.
Comparison.
I mean, they're topographical maps. They're hybrids. I mean, they're next to none. Some of the best out there, man. They've definitely changed my game and changed my insight on how to hunt a piece of property.
You could say it made you a better hunter.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess we'll find out.
Hell yeah.
So the next one is Nor'easter Game Calls.
Nor'easter Game Calls. Get your Evolution Series Nor'easter
coming
call.
soon.
Coming
soon.
Super
East
soon.
Coast.
Get them in close with Nor'easter Game Calls. If you want one of a kind, you rock something right there. It looks delicious. One of a kind, handmade, hand-tuned, custom game call. Find yourself at nor'eastergamecalls.com and support Mock out in the shop till 2 a.m. every day. He might call you, though. Don't call him.
Turkey pot calls, Blood Series call, Evolution Series call. I mean, the Windstalkers on the realm, on the horizon for probably around Christmas time, I want to say.
Your memory blocks.
Mab Custom Knives. He makes knives, too. I mean, this guy makes anything. The 3D memory blocks, like Trev says. I mean, you can remember your hunting trip. You can remember your vacation. You can remember your family reunion of the uncle that you punched out. I mean, just get a little piece of that flesh, or no, that's a little morbid.
You put a tooth in it, probably.
All right,
put a tooth
with a little bit of gum meat on it.
Uncle Larry with his blood and tooth, yeah.
Or even if you got a nasty old grandpa, you slap the dentures out of him and stick it in that 3D memory block. At Nor'easter Game Calls. Wild Edge Inc.
Saddle up with Wild Edge.
Stop talking about your tattoo, bro.
I know. The leader in mobile hunting. Get yourself a Wild Edge perch, your Wild Edge steps. Now your Wild Edge Yark, which is coming out September 1st for sale.
And when this episode releases, I think it's the following week.
Yeah.
Shit, they're for sale.
I'm excited.
Buy them.
And it's no pre-order. It's first come, first serve. So you can -3 off the list because we're each going to rock
we
the
are.
shard.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
Maybe 4 if you include the Modern Assassin.
Yep. So the first 4 buyers, sorry, you're getting next in line.
Oh, and keep an eye out for the Modern Assassin saddle made by Wild Edge.
Oh, shit.
That shit is dope.
Just drop that, dog.
Yo, I did drop it. I did drop it.
I didn't even know about that. I'm stoked, though.
Dropped it
Is
like
that the
it's
picture?
hot.
Is that the picture you showed me?
It is.
Maybe.
Sweet.
It is. There's only prototypes out right
I'll
now.
take a prototype because that is sick.
But in comparison, me personally, you know, I have a ton of shoes, a ton of hats, a ton of thongs. I like to
wear ton of saddles now, man.
Hey, I'm just saying. Early season, the Yark is dope as fuck because it's super breathable, especially if you're going to saddle hunt in hot climates or early season. Your sweaty asshole ain't gonna get so swampy with the yark.
Can you wear skibbies like Trev does in the yark?
I'll be in my yark wearing thongs.
Yeah, your
They'll be
tongs.
camouflage thongs so they don't see me, though. Oh, maybe the Modern Assassin camo will make men's thongs.
Yes, that's a great idea.
That would be
G,
great.
I know you're listening. Make some tongs.
You know
for
what, G?
D-Rock.
And make sure that thong has the TMA sign right over my crotch. So this way I can rock it right there. And just, if everyone wants to see the logo, I'll show them the logo.
Wasn't Caddy Cowboy the one that shouted out the fact of that we should have more of like a hunter, like a huntress twist on the East Coast crew?
No, because I don't know any huntresses. I only know hunters.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Ooh.
All right.
Put them
All right.
chopsticks down, Trevor.
Moving on.
Moving on. Gator Outdoors. We are now proudly sponsored and partnered with Gator Outdoors. We were always sponsored. Now they're our official partner. If you want to get any gear out there that you could get off the internet, order it from Gator Outdoors, because not only do they provide that, if you're in their local area in the Quad Cities, they offer wraps. They've been doing that for over 25 years, and they're the shit. If you want to see an example of what they could do, check on over to Working Class Bowhunter website. Check out their logo wrap trailer, or even the social media, Facebook or Instagram or even Twitter. It's all over social media. Gator Outdoors. Get yours.
The one-stop shop for your working class outdoors men and women. Get anything you need to be in the woods from Gator Outdoors.
Outfitting the working class.
For your ass.
Jigga. I had to think about it for a
I
second.
see.
It almost came out.
Yep.
This show is presented by Working Class Bowhunter, the OGs of hunting podcasts, the brand in the hunting industry, the yes to your no, the only podcast that sponsors another podcast, the only motherfuckers that would ever help out a bunch of Beast Coast hooligans like us, because I think it's only because I'll shank their ass and we always bring seafood.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that...
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sorry, boys. I'll be less threatening next time, and maybe we'll bring some more land animals from the East Coast. Maybe like, oh, well, we always bring Sika deer. So.
Like squirrel?
Yeah, East
Black,
Coast
we got
squirrel.
we got a lot of black squirrels around
I'm going to
here.
make squirrel jerky.
We should get some black squirrels and bring them out there. They don't have any out there.
We'll bring also the
black squirrels from the hood?
No, the
Dude, that's where you see them all. You go out towards your way. You see black squirrels fucking everywhere. Oh, those are cool.
The black squirrels going back on that.
Now you're calling them inbred?
They're inbred because it's like a chromosome. It's
like a piebald kind of, right?
Exactly.
The opposite.
And there's
I
too
thought that
many
was
of
a
them
mix
in our
of
area.
Hispanic and white squirrel.
No, D-Rock.
So anyways,
that's you.
So the fox squirrels is like an oversized squirrel, and G will tell us about that because that is.
Is this a squirrel hunting podcast or something?
No,
it can be, man. Let's go shoot some squirrels with some bows.
We'll have like a squirrel hunting shoot off.
That sounds awesome.
Yep. The Pope and Young.
Stay tuned. That could happen.
With blowguns.
Gary already does it. It's a
With
Pope
blowguns.
and Young.
At Laddle Squirrel?
No, it's a Pope and Young squirrel hunt, bow hunting squirrel hunt. So he spends a whole day shooting giant squirrels, and whoever comes back with the most wins. Pretty cool.
Huh.
So,
fun fact, I guess.
Fun fact.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly Whitetail News with Ryan Cornstar. Oh, some more breaking news just coming in.
Sorry.
We are so close to being...
Sorry.
Ooh, our sound effects guy is turned out of control right now. So we are so close to being back in the tree in search of meat for the table and, if lucky, some bone on the wall. Here in Connecticut, we are getting a much-needed break in the heat with nighttime temps dipping into the mid-50s, and I can only hope that this trend continues for perfect opening morning temps, putting deer on their feet and in our sights. Winds are constantly changing with the hurricane season now upon us, so keep a close eye on the weather, keep feet on the ground to be sure of that opening day success. But let's go ahead and bring you some news from the industry.
Which industry?
The hunting industry, bro.
Oh. Oh, this is a hunting podcast.
Different
My
podcast.
bad.
Yeah, you're on the
My
other
bad.
one. Yeah.
My bad.
Not on that psychology one. Coming from the East Coast state of Vermont, a state legislative panel has voted to unanimously approve major changes in the state hunting regulations. And I would love to give a shout out to field reporter Mike Salter for bringing this news to my DMs. So this will be in effect prior to the 2020 season. So keep an eye on your regulations if you're hunting in Vermont. And a lot of people do travel to Vermont to hunt from out of state. So keep this in mind. This is something that's going to be changing very soon. The annual limit of deer will increase from 3 deer to 4 deer total. But the total number of bucks allowed will go from a limit of 2 down to just 1. So
I thought you always hunted liberals in Vermont. You can hunt deer in Vermont?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's one of them sleeper states, they say.
Like, you sleep with people? Or?
Yeah, well, you sleep a lot.
Oh.
But they also carry big deer.
Do you wake up with the munchies though in Vermont?
Probably.
I bet they
do.
Vermont's
one of them organic states.
Oh, well, I love Vermont. Please continue.
But the total number of bucks allowed, so that's going to change for you. So you're going to lose a buck tag, but again, you're going to gain a doe tag. So more meat in that freezer.
Pimp them does.
Pimp those does, as D-Rock says. Another approved vote, which I think is absolutely a very cool idea, it would be the introduction of a, quote, novice weekend. This is going to reserve a 2-day period for new adult hunters to be able to hunt during the youth season for their first calendar year of holding a license. Very cool idea. Very cool concept. I'm stoked to get that out there. And of course, here at East Coast Bowhunting Podcast, you all know we are here for new and old hunters. So this is awesome for increasing new hunter numbers.
Don't we got something going on for our listeners September 8th?
We do.
Can you enlighten us?
We are hosting a bow hunter safety course. And that is going to be happening, like D-Rock said, September 8th. And that is a Sunday, isn't it?
That's full.
It's full already.
It is full?
Damn.
Yep.
So, well, if you're listening to this, too late. But
you
yeah.
snooze, you lose. I wonder if...
I think, honestly, if you were to show up, nobody's going to deny you.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get turned away, to be honest.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
And we're hosting that at Hall's Archery in Manchester, Connecticut, and they do have a fairly good-sized facility. So if you happen to show up, 2, 3, 4, or 5 people show up, I don't think they're going to turn you down. So,
and they're going to have a bunch of elite bows for sale. And good prices.
What was that?
We got a deal.
Elite?
Elite bows.
Elite bows.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's elite archery? Is that what it
I
is?
might buy a Valor that day.
Another one.
Well, I like to change them
Add it to the
like I
collection
change my
there.
underwear. You know,
Your thongs.
What do you...
I might put a thong. Oh, I might use... Okay, yeah. I'll do that.
D-Rock's
Instead of my
got an
Scott
idea,
Archery...
so-
Yeah, instead of my Scott Archery release, I'll use my thongs.
So if any of our listeners are interested or...
I'll use my thong for a D-loop. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
There we
If
go.
any of our listeners know someone
Get it, girl.
or yourself are interested in a bow hunter safety course, September 8th, Hall's Archery, Manchester, Connecticut, hit us up. We can get you in on that. Here at East Coast Bowhunting Podcast, you all know we are here for new and old hunters. I just said all this. We're going to go ahead and skip ahead. But the state believes that in the state of Vermont, the novice weekend will bring 250 new hunters each year. So 200 to 250 new hunters each year. Fantastic job to the state of Vermont for these upcoming regulations, promoting hunting and conservation statewide. And now, another great story helping new young hunters comes from the Midwest state of Illinois. Didn't you guys just go there?
Yeah, and we already covered this if you were here on the last episode, I believe.
Well, I wasn't here on the last episode, so...
Are you going to... All right, well, refresh...
You want to refresh everyone?
No, you refresh them.
All right.
Refresh them with the news that I already broke out.
Oh, you broke it out.
I did.
Well,
no,
you know
but
what?
it'd be good to reiterate, though. I'm curious.
Let's hear from our listeners. Who does it better? D-Rock or Ryan the Porn Star?
The porn star always does it better.
Governor JB.
I just use protection.
Well, now I got to go a little more hard on this.
Yeah, do it.
But Governor
Go
JB
hard.
Pritzker has signed new legislation allowing school districts in the state the option to add hunting safety education into the daily curriculum. This is just absolutely fucking excellent. It's wicked cool, as Mark would say, who's just calling Trevor right now. So, Mark, if you're listening, the only reason Trevor is not answering. He must not listen then, huh?
No, it's the game calls.
No, he
Fuck
listens.
you.
He definitely fucking listens.
We don't mean it, Mark. We're just joking.
So not only is this good to teach young children hunting and to obtain their license, but this also teaches gun safety and gives children a way to escape to the outdoors, as we all do, and become an ethical person, and not even just hunting, but hunting in the outdoors instills respect, responsibility, ethics, love, and just life. Nothing is better than hunting.
The only time I escape from outdoors is when I break out of jail or my jail cell.
Well, we'll keep that for a later episode.
Well, amazing enough, I just do it around rifle season because I'm wearing bright orange. Everyone thinks I'm hunting.
not your jail jumpsuit.
Just saying.
Well, on a different note, that is your weekly Whitetail News, brought to you by Ryan the Porn Star. And as always, send me your news.
And who gets the nudes, Ryan?
Trev definitely gets them.
All right, kick him.
Kick him to Trev.
Kick him.
Send forward them to Trev.
Just not.
I'll take a look at them, but forward them to Trev after. Uh-oh.
Welcome back to another edition of the Borderline Corral at Borderline Issues at Hand. People, we need to support our local shops. We lead by example by starting from ground zero. What? If you want to get your bow work done right before your eyes, shop at Trader Jan's Archery Pro Shop and Wicked Twisted Bowstrings to get that at-home feel and Archery Pro service. I mean, they even have in-house training for shooting your bow. They have a 40-yard range target bow. They have tuning your bow section, target section, as well as a 3D target range. And then at the same time, if you have a spare bow or want to get new strings, they'll hook you up with some nice, bright, what do we say, threads?
Yeah.
Yeah, threads, absolutely.
I'm just saying, we hooked up our bows. I think you should hook yours up too. Pimp it out at Trader Jan's. They've been supplying your archery needs since 1991. Get wicked and twisted at Trader Jan's.
Oh, fuck. That's me. Fishing and foraging fun with East Coast Trev. And, as always, the striped bass bite is absolutely incredible. There's some absolute giants behind every rock, as I said last time. The fall run push has definitely pushed some serious bass into our local reefs and underneath our local rocks.
Sounds like you got a big one on right now.
Yeehaw!
I think T-Rock won that fucking one. That was good, dude.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? Well, in the bluefish bite, there's a lot of blitzes of bluefish, and some giant blues have moved into the local race, and pretty much everywhere, there's just bluefish on bluefish.
Bluefish blitzes. Is that like a football term?
No, definitely.
It sounds like it would be like a defensive play.
I agree.
Football blitz. Ready?
Well, that is blitzing in football.
You guys say
is a
break.
definite thing.
When I say ready, you say break.
Yeah, I was a quarterback.
I don't know if you guys played football.
I was a quarterback. I know.
Well, you didn't say break.
No, I said ready. I was the ready guy. That's why. Sorry,
right.
Trev. Keep going, bub.
Anyways,
he wasn't ready. He didn't say break.
The bottom fishing has been absolutely incredible. Some giant sea bass. We're fishing anywhere from 80 to 160 feet of water, which is actually a lot, but they've been just hiding everywhere. Also, the fluking has been absolutely incredible. A lot of bigger fish moving into the deeper water on all kinds of bait. The mackerel are still all around everywhere, and those are also blitzing, break, and
oh god, on fire, blitzing.
Yeehaw!
Here we go.
The offshore bite has absolutely been incredible.
There you go.
I was being funny. No. So anyways, and those are all, even our local offshore, like some of the tails, the shipping lanes, so on and so forth, have actually been producing a lot of mahi-mahi and bluefin tuna.
How about Polk out there slamming it?
Thanks, asshole. You just cut into the next segment.
Well, let me ask a question.
You're welcome, vagina hole. That's what I'm here for.
Can I dip into how?
Not yet. Trev.
Thresher sharks.
Oh, so anyways, so you guys want to do this for me? Or
yeah, sure. Let's take over, Ryan. Yeah, we'll do a better job.
Well, in other news, the Thresher sharks are...
Oh, you were joking. My bad.
You're all yelling.
Sorry, bro. We were into it.
Please
screaming
continue.
for no reason. So anyways, I'm going to do a weekly shout-out. And first off, I'm going to start off with Mr. Sean Polk with his mahi-mahi and his bluefin off of the Outer Banks in South Carolina. Also, a friend of the podcast, David Hergis, got a giant Thresher 7 over 7 feet, over 300 pounds. Absolute giant. Our friend Gabe at Gravity Bait and Tackle.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, I know. He
Try
got
it.
some giant bass, and he's been just absolutely slamming some giant fish. Our friend Jesse Michaels,
Is it on fire?
which is a pro staff from Gator Outdoors.
He's ignoring me.
Yep. And his family went out and got a bunch of giant flatheads recently this past week. So congrats to them. And also a big, huge congrats to Matt Judge, who stuck an absolute giant fantail that was over 15 pounds.
Damn.
And all of them carp guys would be fucking pissed. But no one really cares.
But Trev, you know what? If you European carp fish, then fuck you, right?
Yep, that's it, man.
Well, no. A little bit, but no.
Yeah.
Well, a
Just
little
a tip?
bit.
So anyways.
Yeah, just fuck you with the tip. That's it. Not the
So,
whole.
in the foraging and fishing
D-Rock
news,
said it.
the chanterelles are starting to pop up absolutely everywhere. Same with the black trumpets. Also finding a ton of chicken in the woods. And even D-Rock found some oysters.
D-Rock did?
Yep, D-Rock found some oysters.
D-Rock did.
They
'Cause
have
this
those
jig
along
has
the-
been in the woods a lot
They have
lately.
those along the border?
Yeah.
Well, as long as there's plenty of forest,
Those are
yeah.
no, those are actually camel
turds.
Camel spiders.
Coyote poop.
Yep.
I thought they were mushrooms. My bad.
Yep.
See, so it brings me to the next point, Trev. If you don't know your mushroom, don't eat it because you might end up eating coyote poop.
Like,
So, also,
Peyote?
send in your...
Did you just say peyote?
I did say.
That's not a mushroom.
I think it's
All
the thing
right.
you smoke
And
out
I
of
like
cacti.
peyote.
Isn't it made out of
Whatever.
cacti? Is that made out of cacti, D-Rock?
You are correct.
So anyways,
Thank you.
so send in your fishing and foraging news and pictures. We'd love to see them, share them along, and keep the reports coming in. All right, guys. Stay stepping, stay slaying.
It's not the end of the show yet.
Oh, shit.
Well, my buckle makes impressions on the inside of her thigh. There are little feathered Indians where we tussle through the night. If I'd known she was religious, then I wouldn't have came stone to the house. Such an angel, too fucked up to get back home.
All right, we're back on the line with Ryan Heuser. What's up, Ryan? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys? How's the East Coast?
East Coast is rocking. What did you say, boys?
I would say.
Yeah, it's rocking, man.
That didn't really sound like it's rock. I
It
guess
rocking.
so.
How's that?
I guess so.
Trev needs a little air guitar. We can rock hard.
Okay.
All right.
I don't want to start off saying your safe word, Ryan.
Well, we came up with your safe word is taquito.
Taquito? All right.
Taquito.
That's cool. So I apologize ahead of time, Ryan, because this show, I mean, not a lot of people listen to us. We're a bunch of hooligans and don't know what the fuck we're doing. So, again, welcome to the show. And let's kick it off right, man, because you're going to bring the downloads in. Ryan Heuser from Respect the Game. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and where we can find you.
Well, I'm from a little town called Peculiar, Missouri. Born and raised here, so are my parents and some of my grandparents, actually. So I like to stay in this little small town. And to be honest, I'd tell you my Instagram handle, but I don't really remember what it is. I think it's just Ryan Heuser.
I think you may be right, actually.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. But
Awesome.
other than that, I like my little small town. Just kind of hunker down in here and keep to myself most of the time.
That's awesome. And you have some breaking news yourself, right?
Yes, sir, I do. I actually have a little one on the way, a little girl.
That
My
is so cool.
First kiddo. Yeah, my first kiddo. I'm really excited.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, man. You know what? This one's for you.
Shabine. That sounds good, D-Rock.
Why, you going to crack one?
Yeah, I think I should.
Oh, you're getting doubled up here. Shabine. We might have to use Ryan's safe word tonight, I think.
Taquito.
It might go there. That's awesome. Did y'all pick a name yet or no?
Yeah, we're actually naming her Ray. It's my grandpa's name.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
keep
really
that
cool.
going.
What? It's got to be a middle name too, right?
We haven't quite figured out the middle name yet.
Cool.
But
Cool.
yeah, I'm pretty excited. She's due right there in the middle of the rut, so might make things pretty interesting.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
When's your wedding anniversary? At least you got to plan that one, right?
Yes, or June 30th, so we're good. But
Nice.
I want to do September's usually our pretty busy month, so that's when we really weren't trying, but end of November's all right.
Yeah, it's gun season anyways, isn't it?
Yeah, yep.
Take
It'll
a
be
little
gun
break from
season.
the bow, you know?
Mm-hmm, yep.
That's awesome. And you know what? What's cool is maybe that'll give you a good reason once she's old enough to draw back to get a bow in her hands for her birthday.
All right, every birthday she has, we get to go hunt together.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be celebrate her, have a reason to go hunt out of state.
Yeah.
Well, here's your birthday present.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Really cool. Really cool. Does your wife hunt at all or no?
No, she sort of got introduced to my lifestyle right when we first met. I mean, I think the first month we were together is when I start traveling, so she got introduced to it real quick. But I think this year we've got her outfitted with a new bow, and she's been shooting a bunch. I think I'm gonna try to get her out this year. She's shooting pretty well with it.
That's dope. Congratulations. You know what I mean? Because
the
more stuff you guys do together, I mean, the stronger the relationship is what I hear, you know?
Yeah. And she took to it like a duck on water. I mean, she's shooting pretty dang good too.
You know what?
She's shooting the...
I find that happens a lot, man. I find that happens a lot because we went to my wife and I just went to Dominican Republic this past year, and they had, you know how they have like couples events and stuff like that, like things to do on the resort, whatnot. And they had an archery class, and she did way better than I did. I think she scored like a 260.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's just they don't have the nerves or I don't know, but she's putting them right there in the center almost every time. And she just picked up a bow for the first time like 3 weeks ago.
It's insane.
And they have a lower breathing also. Women have a lower breathing, so they always tend to be a better shooter. So there's like a concentration and movement and so on and so forth. I know at least with guns anyways.
Well, what I was going to say is they just have good teachers.
Oh.
I just rather go that route.
You know what? For all of our women listeners, you guys just teach us how to do things. How's that?
All right. Oh man, that's cool, man. That's cool. So, what did kind of spark your interest with bow hunting when you were a lad?
It was definitely my dad. Dad started dragging us around as soon as he was able to. I mean, I think the earliest memories I have of him dragging us around the woods, going duck hunting, deer hunting, whatever he could get us out doing. But honestly, I was before bow hunting, I was a bigger waterfowl guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was a big duck and goose hunter. My dad had a outfitting business, and that's what I did most of the time. You know, I'd still go bow hunting as much as I could, but waterfowl was usually my first go-to. If ducks and geese were in town, that's where I was going to be. But lately, I haven't had the time for it, and deer hunting's been more of my priority, and it's kind of sad to see it go. But bow hunting got a lot especially when I started with the outdoor group 4 years ago. That's when it really started being my main focus, and I just got to do it more too. That was the big thing. So the more I got to do it, the more I fell in love with it.
I'm right there with you, Ryan, honestly, because that's what I mean, me and Ryan actually were big time waterfowl hunters, because I think like just the camaraderie of it, like growing up and all the boys together, and so in the duck blind or the goose blind, or it was kind of that thing. But then you kind of get to where it's that one-on-one focus with yourself, and you just kind of, as you get older, you just kind of click into it. And that's, I mean, at least for myself, I can say that's kind of what did it for me.
Yeah, and I feel like it's more of a, you know, you feel like it's you versus the deer. It's more challenging. You get to, and it's kind of nice to sit peace and quiet and see some of those sunrises come from the tree stand. But I'm with you. I try to tell people all the time that have never duck and goose hunted before that the camaraderie, the sitting in the blind, joking around, telling stories, and then, oh, here comes the ducks, get serious for a second, then get back to having a good time, laughing and joking around. I mean, there's nothing like it.
Yep.
And what's nice that with not a lot of hunting, I guess maybe in fishing you could do this too, but you could actually run a grill if you start getting hungry and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we've done it all.
Yeah, we definitely get down with some of that. I never had the pleasure to duck or waterfowl hunt with these boys yet, because believe it or not, we've only known each other under
almost a year.
No, we're over
about a
year.
year and a half now, something like that. So yeah, it's something in the mix, but. I think this year, the 2019 hunting year, is going to be insane, especially with the bow. I just feel it. Yep. It's going to happen for a lot of people all the way around. All the, the greater good people.
Mm-hmm.
People in it for the right reason, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is going to be the year for sure. So, I mean, did you go to college out in Missouri too, or no?
No, I did not, actually.
So
I started work right after high school.
There you go. So you're a hardwoods graduate.
Oh yeah.
And there's nothing better than that, man.
Yeah, doing anything I could for $1.
There you go. Working class for your ass for sure.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. So how'd you make the transition? Like, I mean, tell us a quick rundown, like play by play, how you kind of ran into the outdoor group.
Well, when I was like I said, I started out with waterfowl, for my main. That was what I lived and dreamed. I got on a staff with a local call company, a guy that made custom calls not too far from here, and would go around doing calling contests and stuff for him, and ended up Larry Mack was
Lorenzo.
Oh yeah, Lorenzo. He actually engraved the calls for this call company, and ended up being friends with my dad after a while, and I was still a young guy. And Larry would kind of look over my shoulder, and honestly, I didn't know Larry that well. I just knew him as one of my dad's buddies, and had another one of my dad's friends that was his name was Trevor Rick, and he I think I was 18 at the time, just out of high school, and he invited me to go to Canada with him and just go duck hunting up there in Canada. And went up there, and he actually had his own little, he would do DVDs and stuff, had his own little business, and he filmed everything. And that's what kind of sparked my interest in filming stuff. So the next year I went up there, I had a buddy's dad that he was a big time photographer. He loved photography, and I actually worked with him at the time, and he saw that I had a little bit of interest in it, and he's like, here, just take this camera with you and take it up to Canada with you this next year you go, and just take photos. He's like, number one rule, I'll let you borrow this. You just got to come back and show me what photos to take. So I went up there, had another good time, learning how to run a camera, and came back and showed him all the photos, and he went through them all, and I went back and talked to him about a week later, and he's like, you know what? How about you just hold on to that camera and just keep taking pictures? So after I started getting into taking some photos and stuff, Larry was still over my shoulder kind of watching, and Larry would just kind of throw me some product every once in a while. I think, here's a new duck call, or here's this and that, and just take some pictures and send them to me. So that's what kind of got my engine going on that stuff. He just kept on giving me some stuff, and I just take photos and photos and photos and give them to him. And one day I was actually, I didn't know what he was doing with them, or I just thought I was taking pictures, and I was having fun doing it. Got me out in the woods doing what I love and taking pictures. And I was actually on my way to the Iowa Deer Classic, and Larry called me. He's like, hey, you want a job? Like, doing what? And he's like, working for the outdoor group, editing and taking photos. And I was like, yep. He's like, you want to know how much money you're making? I was like, nope. I don't care. I want the job. So that's what kind of got me into it. And, Larry was the key piece in that. He, looking back, every once in a while I'll go back and look at some of my old photos and the first few edits I did by myself, and they were terrible. they were not that good. And Larry saw something that I was doing and got my foot in the door because he was kind of silently watching over my shoulder the whole time, and I just didn't know it.
That's really dope, man. That's a really cool story. I don't know if anyone ever heard that because, quite honestly, like I want to say there's a few RTG people or team members that you kind of don't hear about all the time that are just as involved with all the main guys because, I mean, you're right there with them every step of the way as well, you know?
Yep.
So it was really cool because Clark Cummins spoke highly of you guys and the whole crew, actually, when we were at the WCB shoot this past, what was it, July, was it? Yeah, in July.
Yep.
And just some of the stories that came out of there because, of course, I needed to know. And I'm a bit infringing sometimes only because, you know, it's like, yeah, it's one thing to see it on the network and then it's another to hear it firsthand, you know, and that in itself is a blessing, man. The fact that I even get to talk to you boys, us here on the show, even for you to take your time to come on, it's really cool, man, just to hear those behind the scenes kind of how it all came together. And which leads me to when did you start like being more involved with the camera as far as recording, or do you handle more so? Well, actually, let me ask you this: what do you handle most when it comes to RTG?
I'm more of a behind the scenes guy. I mean, Larry and Paul, they throw me in front of the camera as much as they can. Personally, I think they think it's just funny. I think because I'm not that good in front of the camera, but yeah, I'm more behind the scenes. I love being behind the camera. I love trying to create that, you know, what captures a hunter or fisherman or outdoorsman's eye and just bring it to life. Because I mean, I think that's the fun part. Because you get, you know, us doing what we do, we get to see a lot of cool things and a lot of things people just don't get to see. And I love trying to bring that to everybody. So I'm more of a behind the lens guy, behind the computer guy, just sit there and edit and try to bring as much content to you guys as possible.
That's awesome. And from what we learned, having Katie D'Arcy on a few weeks ago, that you handle most all the social media for Respect the Game, right?
Yeah, it's a team effort, but most of it, you know, I try to take as much as I can because Larry is busy as hell. I mean, he's always on the phone trying to get stuff done, and Paul's got a full plate as well. So I try to keep up with as much as I can.
That's awesome.
And
man.
It's a lot more of a full job than I thought it was when I took the job.
Yeah.
When I said, yeah, I'll run social media, no problem. That's easy.
Oh, yeah. That's what you said, right?
Yeah. I'd like to retract that statement. But it's a lot of fun. I like interacting with everybody as well. I mean, people come in with questions and wanting to come on our stuff. I like interacting with everybody.
That's really cool. So is it safe to say, like, if someone on social media asks a question to Respect the Game, you're more than likely the person answering?
A lot of the times. Larry jumps in there quite a bit too. Larry's very quick to respond on questions, especially direct messages.
Okay.
But yeah, most of the time it'll be me.
That's really cool. That's good to know, you know, because then this way you're painting the picture perfectly. Because I'm sure there's a lot of listeners out there that follow you guys, of course, especially if they listen to us in working class. And then just to know who you're kind of talking to is like, all right, well, maybe this is Larry or this is Ryan. But both senses, I mean, I'm sure you've learned a fuck ton hunting with this crew.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
So what?
Larry is a fountain of knowledge.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. We learned a thing or two when he was on back at the Iowa, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think would be probably the key thing? Actually, you know what? Before we get too deep into it, let's take a little break from business. What you sipping on? What you sipping on?
You know, actually, my brother-in-law actually bought me a bottle of TX whiskey from when he was in Texas, and it is actually really good.
Nice. Nice.
Really, really good.
Is it kind of peaty, or is it more towards the bourbon style? Or
No, I mean, it actually tastes a lot like Crown.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't. It's a little different. I've never actually had anything like it, and I might have to try to find out how to get a bottle up here to Missouri.
There you go. Nothing wrong with a little whiskey.
Yeah.
That's Mama's cowboy juice right there. You know. So are you like a ice in your whiskey type of guy, or are you straight up neat?
I'll drink it with some ice and a little bit of water a lot of times. I'm pretty partial, just a little splash of 7-Up in there too.
Ah, there you go. Nothing wrong with that either.
No.
You know what? That keeps it a long night, I find. Every time I got Elijah, and I'll have it neat. No ice, just straight up. It's like before you know, it's like... You're on
everybody's Snapchat story.
That's when they break out my safe word. What's my safe word, Ryan?
Taquito.
Oh, okay.
You're not drinking it tonight, though, so maybe all right.
We'll be all right. I think we're just gonna stick to the Shebeen and the Moscow Mules. If we need water breaks, we'll venture the Busch Lights.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
The Timber Pepsis.
Yeah, Busch Lattes. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so let's get back to business, man. The biggest thing that you take away from working with, as far as hunting goes, working with Respect the Game. What do you think that is, man? First thing that comes to mind.
Have fun. Honestly, having fun. I took it a little more serious, like a little too serious when I first started. And then you learn really quick that when you're hunting with guys like Larry, that you can't take it serious. You just got to have fun. Because that's when you end up, you have the most fun when you're just out there goofing off and just good things happen. You're not stressed out. You're not worried about what's going to happen. You just go out there, have a good time, let things happen the way they're going to happen. Just let it keep on going, man.
That's really cool, man. It's actually something that we as a whole like to push. Aside from the unity and the greater good, it's about having fun again, man. Because there's a lot of stuff going on out there, and I'm not going to bring it up because it's on everyone's mind. Everyone knows how people bash people. It only happens on one platform because the real of it, when you're out in the woods with your crew or whoever you're hunting with, it's always a good time, and they're always happy for you. You're not going to be chilling with someone that just brings you down, you know?
Yep.
So have fun. That's awesome. That's the key thing you take away. Well, what is your most fondest memory of hunting with RTG?
Fondest memory of hunting with RTG? Ooh, that's a tough one. I've had a lot of good moments. I've got to go on a lot of trips that I never dreamed I'd go on. Going to Canada to hunt bears was insanely fun. Never dreamed I'd get to do something like that.
That's awesome. Did you bait them in or call them in or stalk them?
Yeah, we were baiting. And I guess I'd never realized how quiet a bear was. Never dreamt that a bear was that quiet. That big of an animal that kind of knows he owns the woods. You wouldn't think he'd be that quiet coming in. And that was my biggest takeaway from that. And it's so quiet. As far north as we were, you could hear a twig snap from half a mile away, and you would not see those things or hear those things until they were within 40 yards of you. And then going to Africa was something I really never thought I'd do. And that was a pretty crazy experience and different world. It's hard to put my finger just on one though. My first trip though, out to Montana, that was kind of my first trip with RTG, and I was nervous as all get out to be out there. I'd run a camera before, but never for a TV show. So I was pretty nervous, and Larry was a huge help, kind of calmed me down and ended up shooting a deer that I wasn't even hunting, and I had my eyes on this deer. I was trying to get him to shoot it the whole time, and he finally did. But that was probably one of my favorites, because it was one of my first trips. Montana is just absolutely awesome. And I was in a camp with the Virtue guys and Clint and Philip and Larry. I mean, it was just awesome camp to be in.
That's really cool. I actually want to go back a little bit.
Okay.
And circle back to that, actually. For the bear hunt in Canada, did you hunt out of a blind, or were you in a tree stand? And did you use a bow or the Camex crossbow? Or
we were using bows, and if you want to call it a blind, you can call it a blind, but it was basically just a few sticks leaned up against a tree.
Okay,
cool. And those, you're a little nervous when them bears come walking in, and we had a couple of them bluff charging us. And at first, the first bear I ever saw, first sit, and luckily RTG was nice enough to get me a tag. I didn't even know it. They surprised me with it. So I get up there, and Larry's like, "Hey, you're up to bat first," and which I didn't expect. I expected to film him for a while until he killed one. And we get up there, and he puts me in the blind. We're sitting there, and here comes this little bear, and I see it. And up there, I mean, we were far enough north to where the trees, I mean, aren't any bigger than around your leg. We're about 40 miles away from the tree line. So you can see a long ways across there, and you see this little black dot coming, and here he comes. He just comes trotting right in. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a pretty good looking bear. And then I look over at them, and I'm like, that's a little one. That's a little guy. Well, he comes walking in further, and he kind of notices the blind. He decides he's going to come check it out while he's walking. And I look over, and Jason, our guide, he was sitting there on his phone. Larry's over there just messing with the camera. He ain't even paying attention. Well, this bear decides he's going to bluff charge us, and I'm thinking in my head, well, the other guys aren't nervous. I shouldn't be nervous. I'm just going to chill. Well, as soon as this bear tries to bluff charge, and he kind of half charges at us, my guide and Larry decide to jump out of their chair like he's going to come at us. And then I realized, oh, crap, do I need to be afraid now? I was pretty calm until you guys started jumping. And actually, I mean, if you see the raw footage, you can see the whole camera. Larry was just filming him walking in, and then the whole camera shakes real bad, and you can't even see what's going on anymore because he jumped so hard.
Is that the same hunt? Is that the same hunt that you guys were in? Like it was like there was like wood that went around, and they had the bear that almost came like a foot away from the blind.
The same blinds, and it was actually that same exact spot, but that was the year before.
Oh,
that was the year before when Larry shot the deer. But yeah, you can see that it's just a few sticks. If them bears want to come in, there is no problem. They're just going to come right in.
That's pretty awesome, man.
And now you say it's a little bear. What are you referring to as a little bear? How much do you think that thing weighed?
I couldn't even tell you, honestly. I don't have a whole lot of bear hunting experience, but he looked like he was probably around 150 pounds.
That's a good-sized bear, man. I mean, that's,
yeah,
that's a man-sized bear.
Oh, yeah, he's big enough to go over there and move that barrel around that I had a hard time lifting up, standing up. He just swatted it over like it was nothing.
That's awesome. It's funny you mentioned that, actually. Why don't you paint the picture a little bit? How tall are you, Ryan?
6'2", somewhere around there.
Oh, that's it? Really?
Yeah, 6'2".
Damn. So I guess Philip is just that short, man.
Philip is very short.
Because there was some I forget which picture it was, but I saw the picture. I believe it was Larry, Philip, and yourself, and you were standing next to Philip, kind of like on a grass hill ridge, and just Philip. It made you look super tall, is what it did.
Well. And surprisingly, I think it was a little bit down the hill from him. That just shows how short he is.
Actually, I think you're right, man. I did notice that too.
Larry's not that all big of a guy either. Larry's not that big of a guy.
No, he's your average American, I want to say.
Average American, 5'9", 5'10", yeah.
Nah, he's taller than that.
He's probably around 6 foot.
Yeah, okay. I would say 6.
Maybe he looked big when I stood next to him. I thought I was little.
You kind of are. Smaller than me and Trev, anyways. That's why you're a quarterback growing up.
That's what's up.
Oh, man. So that's really cool, man. So your first one, in the Africa hunt, which animals you get to hunt? Or did you get to hunt?
Well, I filmed most of the time, which I ended up actually getting to shoot a warthog, which was a lot of fun. I hit him a little back, and it turned into a shit show. Ended up having to chase him around, and I wish I still had the video. One of the guides was actually shooting. I ended up having to. I was getting ready to shoot him again because he was bedded down some grass, and he went to take off, and I kind of shot at him on the run, and I hit him better on the run than I did when he was sitting still. But that was more of the hunting the animals was awesome. You know, I got to see a lot of cool stuff, and Larry was laying down. Like, he was just looking at every PH like, hey, can I shoot that one? And if they nodded their head, arrow was gone.
Nice.
So it was a lot of fun just getting to film and see all that stuff. But it was more, the Africa trip was more getting to be around the people and seeing a different culture on how everything worked. And we got to go to a school where all the kids go, and we actually brought all the meat that we had from the animals we had shot to donate to the school, so all the kids had some meat to eat. And it was pretty cool interacting with all the kids. That was a lot of fun.
Nice. That's actually really, really cool. Kind of like visual aspect of it. Only because there's a lot of people that don't really know what happens afterwards. You know, everyone thinks, I won't say everyone, but a lot of people that don't know, they think like you go hunting in Africa and you're taking trophy animals, and some animals that they may think is endangered for I don't know what reason. Maybe it's emotional ties. But then you're doing something really good for the people that need it most. You know, the people that are in a remote area or you don't necessarily have the funds, or even just because it's for the greater good. So, not to use it in that term, but I mean, what do you think is the most exotic meat that you got to taste while you were out there in Africa?
Well, we actually ate most of everything we killed. We got to at least try some of it.
What do you like most then? Let me ask that.
We had I'm trying. Now you put me on the spot. I can't think of the name of it. I know we had some impala with some different stuff, which is really good. I'm not gonna be able to think of it. There was one that they made into a lasagna that was really, really good.
Oh,
it had everything over there kind of had a little bit different taste, but for the most part, everything tasted pretty the same. They did actually make some warthog. Like, they took the tenderloins out of a warthog and grilled them over an open fire, and they were phenomenal. I asked the cook 100 times what he put on it, and they would not tell me.
Their food over there.
Yeah, they would not tell me the secret to what they put on it, but it was amazing.
They have all kinds of weird stuff. Like, they don't have ketchup. They have chili.
Chutney. They put chutney on everything.
They put chutney on everything. And also, the weird thing for me, talking to people from Africa, is that they call everything venison. So every wild game is venison to them. So when they were over, I have family, or friends' family, that's from South Africa. So when they're here and they'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna have venison tonight,"
and all right, which one is it?
Yeah, exactly. So everything it's totally different. But that chutney, isn't it the greatest thing in the world?
I did enjoy the chutney. There was something else that looked like mashed potatoes, and it was not mashed potatoes. I took a big old bite of it, and it was not good. And I was at a table full of about 15 people that were all enjoying it, and I was doing my best not to spit it out. I had to just gut it and act like I loved it.
Take a big swig of something after?
Yep. I don't know. I still to this day don't know what I was eating, but it was, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Did you have any like the dried meats and stuff? The borscht? I forget.
Caddy Cowboy makes that. I know what you're talking about. Caddy Cowboy makes that every year.
Yeah.
That stuff is good.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
Oh, because a lot of times, like, they'll take this stuff. It's called I can't think of the name of it. Anyways, I'm gonna get ridiculed for not knowing it. But they take like big like steaks of the hind quarter, and they take them and they dry them, and then they eat them. It's crazy.
They turn them into like a sausage type though. Most of the time when they dry them,
no,
or like hard case them. You know what I mean?
No. Not that's different stuff. This stuff is like just like straight like they jerky their stuff, but it's a cold.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we had it.
Biltong.
Biltong. Yeah, Biltong. That's right.
Yep. Yeah, that is delicious too. That's crazy. So you were saying, so the Montana, that was the like kind of pop your cherry moment, and you said the Virtue Boys were there too.
Yep. That was my first camp. That being in the camp with Philip and them, and Clint Schwach was there. And I mean, you can't not have a good time when you're around those guys. I mean, it was pretty fun. It was kind of my shock into the world moment, because I knew Larry. He was a friend. He was, I known him, but then you got thrown into camp with Philip and Clint and all those guys that, are so good at what they do. I was kind of the little guy in the corner, like, yeah, I'm just pretending like I belong here at the moment.
So what is camp like with those guys? Like what? I mean, is it all laughs? Is it because we've been through like an emotional roller coaster. When we had Larry on, it was all funny, and then we had Philip on, and it was kind of like a very serious,
like heartfelt,
yeah,
kind of,
yeah, oh yeah, and it's exactly that.
Did he break out the guitar at all?
Yep.
Yeah, of course he did.
No. The first time I actually saw him play was in Nebraska last year. That was the first time I actually was around him when he played.
Oh, no shit. Oh,
yep.
You talking about when WCB was there, or?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, but if you're in camp with Larry, you're going to have a good time. You don't have a choice. You're going to laugh and you're going to have a good time. Philip, you'll have a good time, but Philip is like, he's one of the hardest working people I've ever met in the industry. He's a go-getter. From sun up to sundown, he'll outwork any of us young guys. He'll be dragging us out of bed, telling us to get up and let's go. And there's no stopping him.
That's why he's so successful. I mean,
yep,
shit.
It exactly is.
That rumor be told, there's over 80 mounts in his house or something like that. Something ridiculous.
It is the most crazy thing you've ever seen.
Insane.
So you walk in his living room, you're like, oh, there's 15 deer or so, and there's not another space on the wall. I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. Well, then he's like, here, come on, and you go downstairs, and as soon as you hit the stairs, it's got this big ceiling, and it's just nothing but mounts as you walk down. You're like, well, that's pretty cool. There's another 5 or 6 mounts right there. And then he opens the door. and the door opens, and every inch of his basement, all 4 walls, from top to bottom, is nothing but mounts. And I'm not kidding. Every single one of them is probably 140 plus.
Jeez Louise, imagine that.
And the craziest thing is you would think with that many deer on the wall, he wouldn't remember something about every one of them. If you ask, you could just point to any deer on the wall and say, Philip, where'd you kill that one? And he'll tell you not only where he killed it, probably the month he killed it, sometimes the day he killed it, and could possibly even tell you what time of day and how everything went down. He just remembers every single detail about every single one.
I believe it too, man. I believe it.
And that was the funnest part, going down there, is just sitting there, just sitting in the chair and just pointing to each deer and just hearing the stories about each single one.
I do have to say, he's a bit of like the Gandalf of the hunting industry. You know what I mean? He really is, man. It's insane what he knows and seen. It's pretty cool, man. And to think he's old farm boy from Arkansas, out of all places.
Yep.
But it just shows his passion for it. Especially when you remember all that. Like, you have to have the love and the passion for it, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, man. So what are, like, the next adventures that you have on your list that maybe people don't really know that's behind the scenes that maybe you can kind of leak out a bit?
Well, we've got our usuals this year. We'll be in Nebraska to start the year, September 1, and go from there. We'll be there a couple weeks trying to get done, and then go from there to Montana, and Montana's always a blast. I feel like it's one of our funnest trips of the year. After that, it's going to be kind of up in the air. I might be trying to just get it done here at home. Me and my brother are trying to kill some deer before the kiddo arrives. So that's going to be about it for me this year.
That sounds like a plan. Legit plan.
Yeah.
Are you doing private, or are you going to try a stab at public land, or?
Well, most of our spots are private, and the fun fact about Missouri is actually you can't film on public ground.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah. It's
Can you elaborate a bit?
Well, I've been told you have to have a permit to film on public ground, but every time I've tried to get one, nothing's come of it. I've just ran into roadblock after roadblock, so I've just kind of given up on that and just stuck to private ground.
I have heard
Larry has gotten a few before because he's drawn some Missouri or around our area. We have some draw-in public spots that are around in like Kansas City and the actual city limits that are pretty dynamite spots, but you have to draw for them every year, and Larry's drawn a few of those back in the day. And I know he's gotten some permits to do it, but it's been hard for me to get my hands on them, so I've kind of given up on it.
And do you know what the reason is behind not being able to film on public land?
I don't know if they just think it's more of a trying to protect themselves from bigger, kind of like Montana. We had to try to jump through some loopholes in Montana filming on some of the public ground because they think we're a big production company coming in there with all this stuff. In reality, we're just a couple guys with a camera strapped to our backpack hiking around filming whatever. So I think they might be thinking we're making a little more money than we are.
I see.
It's a profit thing then.
They're thinking we're making money doing this, and reality, we're just kind of running around with a camera filming whatever happens.
That's awesome that you bring that up. Actually, that's something we're wondering ourselves. Do you guys kind of have to jump through hoops a lot to get permission to hunt in certain places, as far as like bringing your crew and your camera equipment?
Sometimes it happens. Most of the time, we've had some. I've had some landowners that think it's awesome. They want to see their ground on TV, and then others will tell me they don't want any photos or aerial maps or nothing. They don't want their property known. So I mean, it's up to the owner most of the time. But
what was the kind of most difficult situation you found yourself in when it comes to regards to that?
Well, I don't know if I've actually ran into real major problems. I mean, I've had a property owner one time not realize we were filming. He got a little upset with us. But other than that, most of the time, it's kind of fun when they realize what you're doing and what we're doing. Sometimes they even start helping us out a little bit more. They'll actually be a little more lenient on what we can do, just because they know that what we're doing, and they like to sometimes try to get involved. And some guys like to get in front of the camera, some guys don't, but some of them like to just see their property on TV and see deer that are coming off their land. That's
really cool. And the fact that you only had like one moment that kind of stood out, is it okay to ask like what happened, what he got mad at? Like, we don't have to specify what or who or where, but
he was just one of those things where, this was before we learned to ask. Like, hey, is it okay if we're filming on this place? You're okay with it, because it was one of those guys that didn't want his place to be known or know where we were, because if you can imagine, if
landmarks or whatnot.
Yeah, if we would show, Larry out there killing a 180-inch deer on this ground, and we showed exactly where that mark was, people start flooding that area and asking the guy if they can get in there and all the way around it. So, we try not to do that or try to show anything that would show where exactly we're, if that's what the farmer wishes.
You know what? That's a good point that you bring up for all the people self-filming out there. Like, that's key information. This is exactly why we wanted you on the show, is because we're going to get kind of the stuff that a lot of people don't really touch on or even think of. Like, specifically a self-filmer. You need to be mindful of that, because if you're just getting into it, that's probably the last thing you're thinking of, is making sure those landmarks aren't in the footage that you're going to be releasing. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I mean, and you'd be surprised a lot, and especially with a lot of those old farmers, they don't have social media. They don't have any kind of technology. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be heard of. So it's good to let them know what you're doing. so you don't upset them when they eventually, their grandkids or something, say, hey, saw your farm on Sportsman's Channel. And they're not going to be so happy the next time you call them.
Yeah. I can only imagine, like, what the ham? That's awesome, man. So, I guess what we're trying to lead to now is, like, break down your setup. Like, what do you use when you're in front of the camera as far as your hunting rig? And get into detail with it, please.
Yeah, I'm shooting a Ritual 35. I'm in love with that bow. It's pretty well glued to my hand at all times. I'm actually just shooting 60 pounds. With the Rituals, as efficient as they are and the speeds I'm getting out of just shooting 60 pounds, there's no reason for me to pull back 70 pounds all the time. Shooting a Victory RIP TKO. I love the TKOs with that weave. I like shooting long distance, even though if I'm not shooting an animal, I just like shooting at a long distance, and they're a little bit tighter group out there. And the rips are just insanely strong arrows. I've made some really bad shots and put them through the fence out back, and they've survived it. But, and it depends, I guess, what I'm going after. If I'm going after whitetails, I'm most of the time shooting the Viper trick or the Wicked trick.
Nice.
That ferrule on the Viper trick is, I have not yet had an arrow not pass through. Everything I've shot at's just blown right through it, like the deer wasn't even there.
That's dope, man.
And I know people are always looking for that big entrance hole, and I can honestly say I've gotten better blood trails than a lot of mechanicals I've shot in the past with those Viper tricks or a lot of the fixed blade slick tricks. I mean, it's just a clean punch through hole all the way through.
You ever hunt with the slick tricks at all, or the Raptor tricks? I mean. Yeah.
Yep. I shot my deer in Canada with a Raptor trick, and I have actually shot the last 2 antelope I've shot with a Raptor trick, and it's just, I was not a mechanical guy. I can honestly say that I was not a mechanical guy, and I tried those Raptor tricks, and they have impressed me every single time I've shot them.
They do leave room for error, for sure.
They definitely do.
Trev saw it firsthand with my buck of last year. The blood trail was insane. Where, Trev?
Yeah, absolutely.
And even just walking up to it, it just seemed like it just spewed out. It was just a big pool of blood. It was insane.
Yep.
Insane.
My first antelope I killed, we actually had to cut the camera off. I was like, we cannot show this. People do not want to see this, because it was a solid red circle around the antelope when he died. That was probably 5 yards all the way around. And he just leaked everything. And that was the first animal I actually shot with one of them. And I can say this, me and both of my brothers all 3 of us are colorblind. We can't see a drop of blood if we need to save our lives. And we could actually track an animal with those Raptor tricks.
That's
like, it's not even a joke. We kind of joke around about it between 3 of us, because we've actually had to call buddies and friends and say, hey, can you come help us look for this deer? And we'll have people walking 10 yards in front of us, spotting blood 15 yards away, and we can't see it if we're standing on top of it. And just once we started shooting that Raptor trick, is one of the few times we were actually able to blood trail a deer the right way.
That's dope as fuck. You know what? It's just one of those things. Like we were never big on anything mechanical. Jumping in, I think Trev sometimes will break out the rages. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And
when I was shooting wasps for a while, I was using the
wasp.
I was using the jackknife for a while, which is a 2-blade. It's just a front deploy, other than
for CT bow hunting, you mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So it was. I don't know. I was never really big into the mechanicals, just because there's just so much room for failure. You know,
but at the
they're
same
really-
time, they're forgiving though. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, we'll get back to that. Because I have a question about you said you had to turn off the camera for the blood. Can you kind of dip into that? Because obviously hunters, maybe not all hunters, but most hunters, they see the thrill of it and enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's, and this is the misconception too, and I don't mean to ramble too much, but I mean, that's the adrenaline that we get, and it's part of the hunt. Whereas people on the outside that may not know too much about the process, they might think it's a bit sadistic or masochistic. Well, not masochistic because you're not self-harming, but it's just one of those things like, I don't know. You elaborate, please.
Well, in that case, for us, it was more of a respect thing. I mean, all of us as hunters know what
No
happens.
pun?
But, I mean, we all know what happens when you send that arrow. Your intent is to kill that animal. But we want to do it in the most respectful way we can, and we don't want to show as much as we can. I mean, we know what happens when you send that arrow, and we know what happens when you send the rapid trick downrange. I mean, it's going to do some damage, and you're going to see blood. But for our viewers, we just try to keep it as respectful as we can. I mean, and that's all. I mean, because we all know, we've all probably seen it, when you walk up to an animal for the first time, sometimes it's not the prettiest thing in the world. But we just try to keep it as clean as possible without upsetting people. We still want to be real. We try to be as real as possible.
See, and that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. While you're talking about this, it just kind of sparked something to me. Is that like people with taking pictures and stuff, that something that kind of bothers me is that they'll take the picture and it'll still have the arrow in it, or there'll be blood everywhere, or you know what I'm saying? Or to me, like I want to show that animal the utmost respect that you possibly can. Like, set it up properly. If there's blood on it, kind of, not
clean it off a bit.
Yeah, just kind of make it look presentable. The tongue hanging out. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves.
Really?
Is somebody who takes pictures with the tongue hanging out.
No, I hear you there. That's one of ours, and I mean, it's the same thing with people would not believe when we go to take photos of Larry kills deer and we kill it. We've probably got 30 minutes of prep time in before we even start snapping photos. I mean, we'll get that deer in a position where it looks good. We'll get out the wipes, start, you clean off the nose, tuck the tongue in if possible. I mean, we'll clean up.
Or at least tuck it towards the back of the photo.
Yep, yeah. I mean, because like you said, I mean, we want to have a little respect towards the animal that we just shot. We don't want, like you said, arrows hanging out, tongue hanging out, blood all over it. I mean,
yeah, you see that a lot on the social media as far as like Facebook groups and stuff like that, or it just absolutely drives me bonkers, man. It's like, or it's just laying on the ground. It's like, prop it up, get a good picture, respect the animal a little bit. You kind of look, I don't know, it's just if it got into the wrong hands, it just looks so wrong. It really truly does.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, I could see the aspect of it because I have a more, I guess, a more primal approach to it. But at the same time, I agree with all those aspects. I guess because we're not an actual like hunting show, that's why I guess we're not as mindful about that. Like, especially
when you run into those scenarios, though.
For sure.
When you run into those scenarios, it clicks in your head. You know what I'm saying? And I see these people get ridiculed up and down, as they should, for not respecting the animal properly. And when that happens, then you have a whole different outlook on it. And I get it. We all, every single day, we live, breathe, and dream this. We see it. It doesn't bother us. But sometimes a lot of people don't think of the other people.
The repercussions, yeah.
Because it's definitely...
Well, that's what I was leading to, is that at the end of the day, we want to educate and set a good example, is the blunt of it. Because honestly, I can't speak for the most hunters out there, but in all essence, if we didn't have like conservation problems as far as numbers and people that we have to set an example for as far as like the non-hunter. I guess it'd be more loose, I guess, like more of a celebration. It just seems like nowadays more than ever, it seems like we have to take these extra precautionary moves that I kind of wish we grew up in a different era in the sense of not being so restricted, I guess I want to say. But at the same time, though, maybe that's why we are living in this era, because it's going to take people like us to really set that example to grow the numbers up.
Well, and you do have to be a little more, as you say, politically correct when it comes to this stuff. Because anything you do, like Trev and D-Rock said, you're just getting bashed for no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and like everybody on the outside in is against us.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody on the outside in thinks, so when you post photos like that of the arrow sticking out, the deer all bloody, you're doing nothing but just fueling the fire for them to come back at us. If you're respectful about it, if you're respectful about it and you do the best you can to keep everybody happy, it makes that side not paint us as such a bad picture.
Yeah, and that's what it is, and that's what it's going to take too. I mean, that's why we have this platform, and we're very, very borderline. So again, I'm sorry, Ryan. You might, yeah. I don't know if your wife should listen to this. No, this episode is more controlled. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's a clean episode.
Well, the intro was kind of rough.
Nah,
Ryan wasn't on for
the
that
intro
one.
was fun.
Well, we drop F-bombs a lot, I guess, for the intro. It just came out of nowhere. Trev started us off, so I'm blaming it on Trev. Oh, man. So I can only imagine, though, like, just being involved in progressing and growing from, starting off water fountain hunting with your pops and then kind of growing into your bow, so to speak. And then just, like you said, quote unquote, anything for $1. Don't take it literal, listeners. Ryan's a clean, soon-to-be daddy. Not you.
Oh, not me. Okay,
Heuser.
yeah.
Heuser. And
Heuser.
No, it's not. It's Heuser. Heuser?
Heuser.
Oh, I stand corrected again. I was just testing Ryan.
Yeah, it's all good. You can say it however you want.
Nah,
I'll still respond to it.
So, I mean, it's just really cool, the process, how you've grown into it, and really found, I want to say, kind of found your family away from family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You definitely can say that.
Insane. So, this season coming up, what can we expect as a highlight, like a high point?
Well, my high point's usually always, I could care less if I kill a deer. Don't get me wrong, I like to send an arrow down range, but filming with my brothers, that's the highlight for me. Because honestly, they're way better on camera than I am. They're a lot funnier. And my younger brother is the deer whisperer, so it's fun to...
The deer whisperer.
He is. He sets his sight on a deer that he got in the summertime, and you just feel sorry for the deer because he will stop at nothing to get that sucker on the ground. And it's fun to watch that process because he is way better of a deer hunter than I am. I will admit that every day. He puts a lot more time into it. He understands what the deer are going to do better than I do. So it's really fun and especially to learn something from your little brother who you're supposed to be teaching stuff to. So it's kind of fun to watch him chase deer around the woods because I feel like I learn something every time I'm out there and I have fun doing it. But honestly, I think the biggest highlight from this upcoming season is going to have my little girl.
Amen.
Have a little one come into the hunting season, so I'm looking forward to that.
Amen, brother. I like that. That was a good way to circle back to it, man. That's definitely dope. I'm excited for you, man. I'm 37 years old with 2 kids and just got married, so I kind of did shit a little ass backwards, so to speak. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I just kind of rolled with it, and you're doing it the right way, man. And you're definitely blessed, and we're blessed to have you on, in the sense to share the story on the aspects that you don't normally hear. And then this is a really good question before we dip into one of our segments: is how do you find the balance into it all? Because I mean, shit, you're going to have to adjust that balance once that baby's born. So how's
know.
your approach now, or do you just have that much of a forgiving wife?
Oh, well, she's definitely forgiving. She got thrown into, like I said, she got thrown into this whole world right from the get-go. So she got to see, I mean, first time I met her was a month before I leave and usually September we're on the road for the whole month. So she got thrown right into it right off the get go, and she's been nothing but a blessing since then, because she understands that it's my job and it's what I really love to do. So she, it's not easy. It's, when she's home alone for a whole month by herself, I mean, I can understand it gets a little stressful, but she keeps rolling with the punches with me, and hopefully things go the same when the little one comes around. So we got a lot of family that support and come over and hang out and make sure everything, one of my brothers lives in the same neighborhood as I do, and my mom just lives across town. So we all live close. We all help each other. So things go pretty smoothly, and hopefully in the future, same thing applies.
That's very important, man. That's really good to hear, too, because family is important, especially to help out with the newborn. You guys are definitely blessed. So, Ryan, you made it to our next segment, Ninja Tip of the Day. What do you have for the outdoors person? Ninja Tip of the Day for our listeners.
Ninja Tip of the Day. Going back again, just about my brother being the deer whisperer he is. I strongly believe in if you want to kill a big deer you've been watching on camera, you got to do it. Hang and hunt. First day you see him, I know you guys have probably heard it 100 times from people, but I'm starting to really believe in it every year that I spend the season. It seems like those big bucks, they don't mess up often, but if you're going to get them to mess up, it's going to be the first day or two you hang that stand right where they've been coming through. So, and it's happened for us multiple times.
That's actually solid advice. You do hear it often, but it's easily forgotten and overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because you mentioned that because you get people sharing their trail cam pics and stuff like that, like, oh, look at this big buck, but maybe their schedule won't allow. So what I take from your ninja tip to kind of piggyback off of that is you hang and hunt the day you see them, but make that sacrifice. Excuse me, Shabine burp. Maybe you make that sacrifice to make that happen. Because, yeah, you may have to work that same day, but maybe that'll be the time if you go in early enough to just, hey, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I'm going to be a little late. Kind of, a little white lie and for the greater good and bring those numbers around. I mean, we're just contributing to the natural course of life, and that if that's what gets you in, just telling a little white lie like that and asking for forgiveness from God later on, it may be worth it, man.
And it really is hard. I mean, especially for a guy, like me, I kind of piggyback off the places my brother has to hunt. I don't have a whole lot of places to hunt myself, and you get a good deer. You get, especially a lot of cases, you get the biggest deer you've ever seen on camera in one of your spots. You want to go in there constantly checking cameras over and over to see if he's there and put stuff out and hang the stand to get ready for him. And a lot of times it's just best to let him be comfortable, go in there, check your camera on opening day. If he's still there, hang that stand that early afternoon and just see what happens. Just catch him off guard, because the moment you start going in there and messing around a lot, trying to prepare for him, he's going to leave.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And on the same note, this is a long ninja tip. On the same note, wind is everything, man. Wind is everything.
It is.
Because, you could descent the hell out of yourself, but if you're in the wrong wind, what if he smells that kind of decent and odor? And some deer are different. They're a little more skittish than others. So,
well, not even that. The wind is important not only for scent control, but also getting him to come down that certain path or the way that he's going to move in that area, so on and so forth.
The wind's got to be right for the buck, not for you.
Correct. Or the doe. Or
the doe.
Like I said earlier in the intro, Ryan, I'm the pimp of the woods, and I keep all my does in check. Hey, man, I like my freezer to be full. If the doe is what it takes, the freezer's going to be full.
Yeah, I like to eat.
Exactly. Nothing
Them
wrong with that.
Backstrap bearing women.
Hey,
you know,
hey, you know,
Dose.
Whoa.
Dose.
Send Trev your news.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. What's that? Uh-oh. Cool. Our closing segment, man. That was what rattles your antlers. So, what do you got? Like, what gets under your skin in the outdoor industry, or even life in general? What rattles your antlers, Ryan?
I'd probably keep this in the outdoor industry. What really gets under my skin is deer shaming, honestly. Deer shaming, there's a lot of people out there. If you go out and the biggest deer you have on your farm that year is 130 inches, shoot that deer. If it puts a smile on your face, have a good time, keep that smile on your face and shoot that deer. If you want to sit back and try to grow your deer. But I mean, every farm is different. Every hunter's different. And if, another guy wants to grow deer on his property and not shoot those 130-inch deer, more power to you. But if the guy next door has never shot a 130-inch deer and he sees that deer walk by and you shoot him, be happy for him.
Amen
To that is right. What do you think, Ryan?
We're just out here having fun, man. I just keep having fun.
Yeah, keep them traditions going.
No need to turn against each other. Like I said, everybody on the outside is against us already.
Right on that. Right on. And then, you know what? I think that's the theme of this episode, man, is just have fun. It just seems like you're with the right crew, and the higher force put you in the right perspective. And, I mean, it seems like you're getting blessings left and right, man. You have a quote-unquote dream job. I mean, do you do something during the day aside from RTG, or?
Well, I mean, that's what a full-time employee for the outdoor group, so I do all the me and Paul and Larry do all the social media videos, commercials, photos for catalogs, all that stuff you see for all the TOG products comes from us. Dream job. Straight up dream job, man.
I love it.
Hell yeah, man. God bless you for sure. Because, I mean, for every outdoors enthusiast, whether it be, hiking, camping, if you're an angler or hunter, or even just a person that sticks up for us in the courts to push the bills and rights that we need as hunters. It's like, God bless all y'all if that's part of your job and what you do on a day-to-day. That's our struggle. Trev, not so much. But Ryan and Trev is blessed in different ways, but we won't go there. But Ryan and I, Ryan the porn star and I, like, we're really trying to make that conversion. Me more so than Ryan, because the porn star, he's always got to go to those gigs and start filming for different porn, like Pornhub, Casting Couch, and all that stuff. So, but myself, I could really admire that. Is what I'm getting at, is to really have that 365 outdoors experience. It's definitely an envy out of respect and honestly for the greater good. I know I've dropped that probably 3-4 times this episode, but that's what it's going to take, is people like us really striving for that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man. It really is a blessing. I just have a lot of fun. That's all I try to do.
Amen. So we always like to end the episode with a round of positivity. So, round of positivity. Ryan, what you got?
Ooh, you're starting with...
Not Ryan Heuser.
No, yeah, me.
I said it. I said it right.
Ryan the porn star. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you said it right this time.
Ryan the porn star. What do you got? Round of positivity.
What a freaking cool episode. Hearing some behind-the-scenes stuff from RTG and just some future stories and, funny stories, including P. Viddy and Lorenzo, as D-Rock calls them. But, man, you don't hear this kind of stuff. You watch the TV shows, and you don't know the behind-the-scenes stuff. And I imagine deer camp with these guys is just you don't stop laughing, and your cheeks hurt, and that's kind of the thing we hear today on this episode. So, look past just what you see on TV, and you put your experience into it when you're in the woods, because everyone you see on TV, they're having those same great experiences that you do at deer camp. They're just at a different level. So go out there, keep hunting, shoot those does, put some meat on the table, shoot those. You're talking about 130-inch buck. Someone shooting shit. Put an 80-inch buck in front of me. We're taking them. Put some meat on the table. Take what makes you happy, and live that fun deer camp experience.
Word. That's good. I like that one, Ryan. Good job, man.
Thanks, bro.
Trev, what do you got?
My round of positivity is that we are cresting up on, I think we're less than 30 days to deer season starting
we're days
here.
away, man.
And, by the time this comes out. Oh, yeah, that's right. All right. But
by the time this comes out, it's probably a couple weeks away.
So, and not even that, but we've been together for a year podcasting by that time. And also, just the positivity of the episode and, gaining another friend in the East Coast friendship of all of this. And I can't thank Ryan for taking the time out of his day to do this with us. It's been a great ride, man, and I love it.
That's dope. I like it. Raw. That was raw, but it was good.
Sorry.
Was it good for you?
I tried going different because, I always do the same positivity.
No, I like it. Like I said, I was complimenting you, man.
All right, thanks.
Take the compliment.
I don't take it well.
Yeah. Well, what I bring positive to the table, man, is you, Ryan Heuser, from Respect the Game, to just take your time, because obviously you have a busy schedule as well. Full-time employee for the outdoor group, rocking Respect the Game, making sure social media is up to par. And then not only just that, like your wife, planning your hunts coming up. I know you've been out there, hustling, whatever it takes to get the deer down in your properties, and then prepping for the little one coming soon. That's the most positive that I bring to the table is becoming a daddy. And becoming a daddy is, people take it in different ways. And some people look at daddies a certain way in the sense of it could be negative or positive. But the positive in all that is you get to be that 100% role model to a little one and guide their life to how they're going to eventually be. We start off in diapers and end in diapers. How do you want your kids to end in diapers, so to speak? You know what I mean? That's a blessing. That's a blessing. So, Ryan Heuser, Respect the Game. Around the positivity.
I think like I touched on earlier, man, just go out there and have fun. Be around people, put people around you that make you happy, and just go do what you love. No matter what it is. If you go out there like hunting, get your buddies out there and go walk around the woods.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I like that.
Simple.
Yeah,
love it.
I love it.
Hell yeah. I mean, shit. Is there anything else that you want to touch on before we kind of pull the plug, so to speak?
I don't know, guys. I think I'm sitting pretty good.
It's awesome. I don't want to get. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, unless you guys got anything else for me.
You know what? I was just about to say I want to save it for another episode down the road. Maybe after a big harvest or something to kind of bring a different perspective. So because we want to catch you in kill mode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you seem like a great guy, Ryan. Every time I met you, you're always smiling. And right now over the phone, it sounds like you're smiling. But we want to catch you in kill mode, fresh off of kill mode. So we'll just leave it there. So on that note, stay stepping.
And stay slaying.
Podcast go straight to hell. Yeah, speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
We keep it real on the East Coast. First of all, I'm addicted to the show.
I like that. That's cool. Full hunt, you live it, you breathe it.
It's a whole different world.
Just East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind. It's a fantastic thing.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Well, number one is you guys like beer. I want to feel like I'm hanging with the boys.
You're the guys that showed up.
But I actually saw Jesus.
Point where
where it is now, where it's insane.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Just want to get the realest people possible in the industry.
You know, if you're not pissing people off, you're not doing it right.
Nothing forced, all fucking natural.